Hello goddesses, it's Sarah Keats here with the Green Goddess. Today I wanted to have a chat with you that I have, truth be told, been putting off for a very long time because I don't like controversy and I don't like bringing up topics that can be quite reactive for people. And so what is this topic, you might be wondering? Well, it is the topic of sunscreen. So, as I said, over the years, I've avoided this conversation, but I felt like it's time for me to share my 2 cents on sunscreen because it's something that I get a lot of questions about. I have a lot of customers who reach out to me and ask me what I use, do I make sunscreen, what are safe brands, what is the problem with sunscreens, why do they have such a bad rap, etc., etc. And I thought, oh, I shouldn't keep silent on this topic anymore. So I want to share with you what I have learned over the years in regards to sunscreen and how you may make the best choices for your family, whatever that may be. And it is my true feelings that what feels right for me or my family very much might not be what feels right for you and your family. And so it really must boil down to you taking an active stance and deciding where you want to go with this. So let's just have the conversation. I will share with you the knowledge that I have gained or that I think I have gained over the years of looking at sunscreen labels, and we'll go from there, okay? So one of the main questions I get is, Sarah, do you make sunscreen? The answer is no, I don't. I do, however, have a product that I call Terra Shield. It's called Terra Shield, and it's called a sun stick here. And so what that means is that for those of you who might be familiar with another product that I make, it's packaged just like this, and it's called Guardian Spirit Cocoa Butter Bar. And it's a lotion bar. It's like a cocoa butter that's been mixed with beeswax, and it's just really moisturizing for the skin. It's wonderful for dry, cracked heels or for post-shaving on your shins, for a pregnant, expanding belly, because cocoa butter is so good at preventing stretch marks. It's wonderful for when we sanitize our hands a lot or wash our hands and our knuckles and hands start to feel dry. And what I love about it is it's not as greasy as, let's say, my body butter. So I love it for my hands in particular. So don't get confused if you see a Guardian Spirit Cocoa Butter Bar on the shelf and it looks exactly like a Terra Shield Sun Stick. Even though they're packaged the same and they look quite the same, they're two different products, but quite similar in nature. So my Sun Stick, it is like my Guardian Spirit Cocoa Butter Bar. It's full of cocoa butter and other nourishing oils and fantastic essential oils like frankincense and helichrysum and geranium and carrot seed. These are all really, really great essential oils for your skin, as well as the butters and the carrier oils that I use in here are really great for your skin. What makes this a sun stick though is that I have added zinc oxide into this bar. And that's what gives it a little bit more of a creamy white appearance, because that's what zinc does. Now, if you use this bar on your skin, I cannot make any claims to its SPF value, because even though this product has zinc in it, which naturally zinc acts like little mirrors on your skin and it reflects the sun's light and its UVA and UVB rays. So when you use a zinc product, you might remember that your skin tends to turn white. You can see like a white sheen on your skin. And that's these little reflective mirrors that are basically on the skin. That's how zinc works. It sits on the surface of the skin to naturally reflect the sun's rays and those harmful UVA and UVB rays, okay? And that's usually people's main complaints with a mineral sunscreen, which is the zinc, or also another ingredient is zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Those are the two main minerals that are found in natural mineral sunscreens that can reflect the sun's rays. So we have zinc in this sun stick. However, it's really important to note that this product has not been tested. It has not been approved by Health Canada for SPF or anything of the sort. So it's very hard for me to market this bar other than to just say, hey, it's a moisturizing bar for your skin that happens to have zinc in it. I can't say how effective it would be. If that makes you uncomfortable, please make sure you purchase a sunscreen that has been tested in a lab. There's a known SPF to it, and then you're guaranteed to know what you're getting yourself into, okay? So to answer the first question I get, do you make a sunscreen? No, it's not certified. It's not anything that can make any claims. It's simply, how I like to say it, it's a moisturizing bar that is fantastic for your skin, and it happens to have some zinc in it, which has naturally reflective properties in it. Now, zinc, just so you know, it also has incredible healing properties for the skin. I love zinc in my diaper salve, which is one of my best-selling products. It does a great job at helping with redness in the skin and just angry skin. It's so healing for it. It's been one of my best sellers, and for good reason. It's just a wonderful thing. And so this is a similar concept where it has the zinc in it. So if you were to purchase this product, and let's say you didn't use it up over the summer months and you thought, oh, I kind of don't want to hold on to it till next year, although you probably can, you could use it for dry skin again, for cracked heels. You could use it for all the things that you use your Guardian Spirit Cocoa Butter Bar, but just know, in fact, that this might even be better because of the zinc in it. Okay, so hopefully that answers the first question. Do I make a sunscreen? No, we do not have a product that's certified, but we do have this, which is kind of in this, sitting on the fence. It wants to be this thing over here, but it's not quite there until we go through all the hoops that must be jumped through to do that. All right, now I wanted to give you in today's video a local brand, a Canadian brand sunscreen that our family really likes. So if we know we're gonna have a big day out in the garden and I want something for my children that I know has a high SPF, this is one of my favorite Canadian companies. I like them because when it says it's 100% natural, it really truly is. It's a great product that has clean ingredients in it. So this is Green Beaver Company, and they do a mineral sunscreen, and that's the key word that you're really looking for. So that's the conversation I want to have with you guys today. Recently in the news, you may have seen this, you may not have. The Johnson & Johnson is doing a large recall on some of their sunscreens that they make. Johnson & Johnson is like an umbrella company that owns a lot of companies that you might recognize the names of, like Neutrogena was one, and I think can't think of the other one right now, but they're a very huge company. So they have recalled a good amount of their, I think Aveeno was the other one actually. And I will put the link for the article, the news article, in the show notes. So about 5 sunblocks got recalled due to the presence of a known human carcinogen called benzene. Now, benzene shouldn't be in our cosmetics, but sometimes, somehow, which they will be investigating how benzene ended up in these sunscreens, because benzene is one of our top known carcinogens. It is a very dangerous chemical that we should really, really try to avoid in all ways, through inhalation, through skin absorption, through mucous membranes, whatever the case may be. It's a very big concern. So there was a company out there called Valisure. Valisure, I did some research on the company, and they sound like a pharmaceutical company, that takes it upon themselves to test pharmaceuticals independently. So they independently test in their lab different pharmaceuticals to assure that they are safe before they reach the consumer. And so Valisure took it upon themselves to do this huge testing of many different sunscreens on the market. I think they tested 78 sunscreens in total, and as well after sun care products. And in that big test that they did, they found that 27% of the samples that they tested contained detectable levels of benzene, and some batches even contained up to 3 times the concentration limit, which is 2 parts per million. Even that, they say, is something that we should, even at 2 parts per million. Problem is that benzene, even in those low amounts, has been shown in study after study that it increases humans' chance of getting blood cancer, was one of the top ones. So leukemia, for example, especially in children, benzene is a big concern for. So Valisure tested all of these sunscreens, and they learned that, alarmingly, there are many sunscreens on the market today that have detectable levels of benzene in them. And so I believe that this new report that came out, and it's in the public eye now, is because of this Valisure testing. They've really scratched the surface and brought this up to the consumer's attention. And I predict that we're going to see even more recalls down the road, because there were so many sunscreens out there that apparently had that benzene in them. So Valisure is calling on the FDA to have stricter enforcements when it comes to detectable levels of benzene and what that level should be. They are demanding that this be brought to the media and that consumers have a better idea of how dangerous sunscreens can be. Now, this is where the controversy comes in, where I always wanted to stay a little bit silent on the subject because I don't like confrontation and I don't want to make anybody mad, really. But I really do personally, I'll just share what I think. I personally feel that the sun is good for us to a certain extent, and using the sun responsibly is good for us. We need the vitamin D, and we can benefit greatly with a healthy dose of sun exposure. Now, obviously, the best way to have a healthy experience in the sun is to cover up appropriately. Wear a large brimmed hat, wear long sleeves, a light cotton or something outside where your skin can still breathe, but you're covering the skin. Use an umbrella, seek out shade. These are the healthiest ways that we can interact with the sun without having to resort to sunscreen. Now, there's going to be some of you out there who adamantly say, I use sunscreen every day, Sarah, and that's never going to change. I feel that the sun is bad for me. I'm worried about skin cancer, and so on and so on. And so then you're in that situation where anything I say might not matter to you, and you're just going to go down that path, and that's perfectly okay. As I said earlier, everybody needs to make their own decisions on this topic. But it is important to know that if you are purchasing a sunscreen and you're using it on a daily basis, and the sunscreen is active through chemical ways, through the oxybenzone is one of the main ones. There was quite a few, and I can't remember the chemical names right now. But so basically, I want you to know that there are 2 ways that you can protect. There's basically 2 ways that you can have sunscreen. There's chemical sunscreen and there's mineral sunscreen. Now, being the green goddess and knowing my stance on using, encouraging people to use natural products, and my main goal is to just use products that are safe. That's my main thing. And so if you use a chemical sunscreen, what's happening is that there's chemicals added into that sunscreen that are designed that when you apply it to your skin absorbs the chemicals, and then when you go outside and you experience UVA and UVB and heat, that goes into the skin and it's absorbed in, and then the chemical somehow deals with that UVA and UVB rays and it converts it to heat, and then your body is able to expel that heat and release it. So that's how chemical sunscreens work. Then mineral sunscreens, which I mentioned earlier, generally contain zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. The mineral sunscreens, their job is to create a force field on your skin that just reflects the sun's rays. Now, there is one caveat to remember about mineral sunscreens, and it is that zinc and titanium dioxide can be toxic to your health if the particle size of the zinc of the mineral or the titanium dioxide mineral is what we call a nanoparticle, which means it's so small that it actually absorbs into your skin, like into your bloodstream or into your system. That is actually toxic for you. So when you seek out a mineral sunscreen, you will almost always see in the advertising that it will say it's made with non-nano particle size zinc or nanoparticle titanium dioxide. So it means that the particle size are not nano, they're not microscopic, they're large enough that they sit on the surface of the skin and they can't be absorbed in. And that way it just acts as a barrier that reflects the sun's rays. This is my preferred method of using sunscreen when we feel we need to. I would much prefer using a mineral sunscreen that is a non-nano particle size, so that we are not using any chemicals that are known carcinogens or known endocrine disruptors, because many of the chemicals that are in sunscreens as well, we know they mess up our endocrine system, which is the boss of our hormones. In fact, there have been studies, and it is, I think, pretty much general knowledge that a lot of these hormone disrupting chemicals, it's highly advisable to avoid if you're pregnant or on children, because endocrine disrupting hormones that are flowing in your system can really mess up little kitties. It can really affect a woman who is pregnant with child. It can affect men and their sperm count. It can cause fertility issues in both men and women, endometriosis and other issues in women. So we really, really, really want to avoid chemicals in our daily cosmetics, but especially in our sunscreens, because that really is one of the products where they're rampant. They're really commonly used in that category of skincare product. We want to avoid these endocrine disruptors, and we want to avoid these known human carcinogens, which, by the way, means causing cancer. Okay, so are you with me still? I know it's a lot of information. I didn't want to overwhelm you, and I didn't want this video to be about me pushing too much about like, you shouldn't be using this and you should be doing that. As I said, it really must come down to you and doing some research and really understanding what is in your sunscreen. By the way, another thing to know about sunscreens is that I think the majority of the ones that have just been recalled by Johnson & Johnson were of the spray variety. So if you happen to have a sunscreen that is a spray, which is easy to apply and convenient, and many people purchase for that reason, it has added dangers to it. It is very wise to avoid the fumes or the spray, so do not breathe it in. But also the way that it is manufactured to make it a spray, I think just has added chemical exposure. There's added ingredients in there that just kind of took it. It sounds like those sprays were just a little added level of danger. So be aware of that too when you're purchasing. By and large, I believe it was Valashore who made a statement, but I will include all the links for the knowledge of what I'm sharing with you today in the show notes. I believe it was Valashore who had said that one of the worst companies to purchase sunscreen from was Neutrogena. So whether that will remain to be true as time goes on and more sunscreen companies are outed through the testing that was done by Valashore, I guess we'll yet to see that. So Neutrogena was one of the worst, and the other takeaway was to avoid the sprays if you can. Okay, so If you are concerned about your chemical exposure, if you're concerned about the sunscreen you are using, check the ingredient list. See what the active ingredients are in that product. Sometimes you are going to see zinc oxide or titanium dioxide or both. And as well as those mineral sunscreens, you will also see the chemical ones. So just because there are mineral sunscreen or minerals in your sunscreen doesn't mean that there isn't the bad stuff too. So make sure you're really thorough when you read your ingredient list and know what it is that you're putting on your skin, okay? So a couple other companies, so Green Beaver was one of my favorite Canadian companies that I felt was a clean, good choice. You can buy it locally. Last year I purchased this at Mint Health Drugstore in Peace River. You can also buy it online. I've seen it at Winners in Grand Prairie. And of course you always have the great World Wide Web to purchase things like this. Another company that was good was Badger. The Badger company, which I think is Canadian as well. They had a good mineral sunscreen that I would consider clean as well. Another company that I love and I look up to is Living Libations. And in fact, my sunstick was created through the research that I did years ago and looking at a sunstick that they created and learning about why they used the ingredients they did and so on. I also made my sunstick bar with the help of reading a few blog posts from Wellness Mama, and I will include those links below as well. She has a recipe, although she said it's highly controversial and she gets a lot of flack for it, on how to make your own sunscreen at home. And again, she said, we cannot claim how much of an SPF this is. I cannot, you really must take responsibility for this yourself, but here is a way that you could make your own sunscreen at home if you were in a pinch or you really felt that was what you felt called to. Another little trick that she shared was another way you can do it is taking your favorite body lotion that you have and just adding a couple tablespoons of zinc oxide into that and mixing it really well. And then there you have it, your favorite lotion that has that added layer of zinc to it. Now again, I just want to stress that I'm not saying to you that you should I don't want people to be scared of the sun, but I realize that the sun has its risks. But as well, I don't want you, I guess I don't want you to feel so scared of the sun that you resort to using toxic sunscreens. People who have been tested, their blood levels tested shortly after applying sunscreen, it is shown in their blood work that they have very high levels of some of these chemicals that we are trying to avoid. And I think one of the studies that I read said that oxybenzoin, which is also a chemical used in sunscreen that is a cause for concern, is in something like 96% of the population. I mean, it's a chemical that is in our systems and in the wide majority of people out there. So I don't want to fearmonger. I don't want to try to say the sun is horrible for you and you should use sunscreen. I think we should use the sun safely and wisely. And in the cases where we do need additional help with sunscreen, then we are making the choice that feels right for us. So whatever that may be for you, that's what I encourage you to do. But hopefully this blog or this video helped you with your decision or gives you a little bit of knowledge that maybe you want to further look into. So as I said, I will include a lot of links in our show notes so that you have the sources from where I was getting my information from. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And please be nice. I know that this is a controversial topic and I'm not here to say, I don't want you to be responsible and I want you to give up your sunscreen and I want you to go out and, we all must be responsible for our own actions. So that's it from me. Whew, I feel a little bit lighter now. I hope this receives you in good health and I hope that it all made sense to you, and I'm always here if you need me. So don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and please do share it with somebody if you think that there is a friend or a family member out there who might benefit from hearing it. Thank you for your time. I realize that our time is precious these days, and I thank you for listening and tuning in. I'm always here if you need me. So make sure you subscribe so that you can be notified as soon as we do a new video. All right, that's it for me. Have a great day and happy summer to you all. Enjoy that sun safely. Bye.